The last time Man vs. Machine had a major update dedicated to it was in 2013. And in case you haven't been paying attention, it's currently 2019. So, as fun as the game mode is, it has gotten a bit stale. Whenever I play it these days, I usually go for more unconventional loadouts. I just think it's more fun, even if it's not as overall effective. Some weapons are just not that good in Man vs. Machine because the base stats of those weapons aren't and shouldn't be designed around what is basically a spin-off game mode. And that's fine. Just as an example, the Tommy Slav is a great weapon when used against other players, but none of its upsides are particularly useful against hordes of robots. So this had me thinking, actually a long time ago, I don't know why it took so long to finally get around to making this, but it had me thinking, why couldn't weapons that aren't especially good in Man vs. Machine be given special upgrades to help solve that problem? To give as much loadout variety as possible. So I've got some ideas on how you might be able to do that. But if you just play Man vs. Machine to get it done as quickly and efficiently as possible, then even hypothetically these ideas probably won't change that much. There's only so much that can be done with an upgrade that makes a not so good weapon good without it being blatantly overpowered and too easy to use. I'm looking at you, Gas Passer. Used to be able to just chuck that thing over and over every 2 seconds. So for these ideas I wanted to do a few things. Give new upgrades to weapons that are lackluster or boring in Man vs. Machine. Give upgrades to every weapon that currently cannot be upgraded. And also something about just being for fun. It's all hypothetical or whatever. Oh, and we're gonna start with just Demoman, Heavy, and Engineer today, cause I don't want this video to be an hour long. Okay, I've wasted enough time explaining the obvious, so let's go! There are currently no upgrades available for the Alibaba Twee Booties, so it's a good place to start, I guess. There's not really that much to work with, but I figure we could try to give it some upgrades that would improve and maybe slightly expand the role of Demonite. First, how about a gain a speed boost on melee kill upgrade? This would cost 200 credits with 1 max upgrade and would provide a 3-second speed boost when you get a melee kill. Simple enough. Then I was thinking something like gain plus 15 health per credit pile collected, with 3 max upgrades costing 150 credits each. This way Demonite could kind of act like a makeshift scout or something. He generally wouldn't heal nearly as much, wouldn't get overheal from it, and wouldn't have an increased collection radius, but you could gain up to 45 health per credit pile collected. And since Demonite has to actually get close to robots to deal damage, he's usually going to be up close to the money anyway. So it could be pretty beneficial. Oh, and you could also add a +1 air jump upgrade that would cost 100 credits with 1 max upgrade. Just for fun. It'll allow you to double jump, and now you can be even more scout-like. Not really a good purpose for it, but, you know, why not? The point here wasn't necessarily to make Demonite a second scout, because even with all those upgrades he still wouldn't be nearly as good at collecting money, but it would give some kind of alternative to the money collecting role, and I think this would do an okay job at that. Now if you're playing Demoman normally, you probably won't be spending that many credits upgrading your grenade launcher, if any at all. It's most likely going to be going as stickies. But even then, I can't really see a reason why you'd ever use the Loch-n-Load. Engineer robots are not super common, so the damage bonus against buildings is not especially useful. You've got a faster projectile, which is okay, but you could just buy that upgrade for stock if you really wanted it. Maybe we could give it some kind of special upgrade that would make it a little bit more unique. I was thinking something like a long-range bomber upgrade that would increase the explosion radius of your grenade by up to 100% based on distance and stun the target for a certain period also based on distance. The stun would act basically exactly the same as Soldier's Rocket Specialist one does, maybe ranging from like a 1-second stun at close range to about 5 seconds at longer ones. And the up to 100% increase in explosion radius isn't quite as good as it sounds because it's based on the Loch-n-Load's default smaller radius, but still, it's not bad. I think this could be a pretty neat little ability for the Loch-n-Load. I just wish there was more of a reason to upgrade your grenade launcher in general. Demonite is really fun in Man vs. Machine, but obviously it doesn't really compare to the super high damage output that regular Demo is capable of. Still though, it's fun, and it could be funner. These upgrades would be available for all of Demoman's shields, meaning the Charge and Targe, Splendid Screen, and Tide Turner. And we'll start with a pretty basic one, a plus 25% charge impact damage upgrade. This would cost 100 credits and could be upgraded 4 times, though you'd probably only be able to upgrade it once with the Splendid Screen. But on the Charge and Targe and Tide Turner, this means you can get up to 100 damage on impacts, and even higher with Heads from the Islander. Then we could add a 0.5 second increase in charge duration with 2 max upgrades costing 150 credits each. This means you could extend your charge for a full second longer, and this would not affect the charge time it takes for your melee weapon to mini-crit or crit. So basically after your regular charge is done, it's just going to be crits from then on, if that makes any sense. And finally, we could add a new upgrade that 25% of damage taken is reflected back to the attacker. The upgrade would cost 250 credits with 3 max upgrades. This means with max upgrades, a robot will receive 75% of the damage it deals to you. If you're playing full Demonite, this would be basically your only form of ranged damage. But yeah, Demonite is probably never going to be super practical in Man vs. Machine, But I think these upgrades could be pretty fun. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. Okay, moving on. Demoman spends like the entire game reloading in Man vs. Machine, so you probably wouldn't want to use a weapon that by default already has half the clip size. And it also deals less damage if it's uncharged. Coming up with a special upgrade for the Quickie Bomb Launcher is kinda tricky. I'm not really super sure how to make its stats work better in a mode like Man vs. Machine. I guess you could give it an upgrade like fully charged bombs mini crit. With max damage in this upgrade, you could deal super high damage with a single bomb, one that ignores fall off too. So you could use this to relatively quickly snipe maybe some robot medics from a distance, or even probably snipe sniper robots. It would be able to deal some pretty massive damage without having to worry about distance. But otherwise, I'm not really sure how worth using the Quickie Bomb Launcher would be. Did anybody got any interesting ideas for it? And now on to the heavy. The Tomislav is not good in Man vs. Machine. I mean, yeah, it could get the job done if you really wanted to, but you could say that about basically any weapon. But what if it had a super accuracy upgrade? One that would further increase the Tomislav's accuracy and also reduce its damage fall off, costing 150 credits with 3 max upgrades. Each upgrade would basically decrease the spread of the Tomislav's cone of fire and decrease its damage fall off by, let's say, 10 percentage points. Currently, a minigun's max damage fall off is 50%, but with this upgrade maxed out, it could be as high as 80%. And it would allow you to deal some pretty decent damage from a distance and land more of your bullets. I'm not quite sure how useful it would ultimately end up being, but it would be interesting, I think. A long-range heavy. That'd be cool. And you could also probably give this upgrade to the Natasha if you wanted to, because, I don't know, why not? Completely running out of ammo in a regular game doesn't really happen all that often. In Man vs. Machine, it can be a little bit more of an issue. And Huo-Long heater chews your ammo. Now, granted, if you sit next to a dispenser and never leave, it's not really a problem, but what do you get in return? A fire ring that probably won't hit anything, and a damage penalty against robots that aren't on fire. I think you could lessen the complete dependence you'd have on an engineer with an upgrade that would give you some ammo back on kill. Like a plus 10 ammo on kill upgrade. Wow. Let's say it costs 200 credits and can be upgraded up to 3 times for a max of 30 ammo restored on kill. You could also add a mini crits on burning target upgrade. That would cost 500 credits. I like how the newer version of the heater encourages some teamwork with pyros, and while this upgrade probably wouldn't be super great without one on your team, it can be super useful when you do. With a damage bonus and mini crits, you'd be dealing some huge damage to burning robots. Though, like any new upgrade, I think it could be difficult to try to save enough credits for it while you're also upgrading other things that you need. So you gotta have to find room for it somewhere. But with a good pyro on your team, it could be worth it. The Dalico's bar is a pretty basic one. Just give it a plus 50% effect duration upgrade. That can be done 2 times for 100 credits each. Heavy's food items aren't really as important in Man vs. Machine, but this could give you an extra 50 health for up to a minute after eating it just once, and it would just cost 200 credits. If you don't have a medic on your team, it might be worth picking up. Maybe. The Buffalo Steak would also get the effect duration upgrade, which would allow it to last for up to 32 seconds. Which could be a bad thing if you actually want to use your gun, but, you know what you're getting into. But more importantly, like with Demoman's shields, equipping the Buffalo Steak will now unlock a plus 25% damage upgrade for Heavy's melee weapons. And just like on Demo, this upgrade will cost 400 credits and can be upgraded 4 times. Which is a bit pricey, but I guess it's okay. You pair that with the killing gloves of boxing and you can run around and crit punch robots all day. Or for 32 seconds. Whichever. So Engineer can currently not upgrade any of the damage on his primary weapons. And I'm not really sure why. I guess because they want you upgrading your buildings instead, but why have any upgrades for your primary at that point? While getting gameplay for this video, I saw an Engineer with the clip size of his Frontier Justice maxed out, and an Engineer with no upgrades at all more than once. So people in boot camp are going to do stupid stuff regardless of what is or isn't available. I say give Engineer primaries a damage bonus like most other classes have. Have it cost 200 credits, 4 upgrades, call it a day. For the Thompson, I was thinking you could give it an upgrade that would block the target from being healed for up to 5 seconds. It'd cost 300 credits with 1 upgrade. That way it could be used to temporarily block robots from being Ubered, especially giants. Could come in handy. Oh, and also give the Thompson a projectile penetration upgrade. Kinda ironic how a weapon that used to do that normally is the only Engineer primary that can't in MVM. I mean, even the Rescue Ranger can for some reason, so just slap it on there and be fine. The Engineer's pistol could also do with a nice simple plus 5 metal on hit upgrade. It'd cost 150 credits with 4 max upgrades, meaning you could get up to plus 20 metal per bullet you hit. Could make for an easy way to get metal back quickly if you need it. Though it's kinda hard to justify using the pistol over the Wrangler because the Wrangler is super good. And the Wrangler is also one of those few weapons that cannot be upgraded at all. But it's also super good. It doesn't even need upgrades. But I don't like the idea of having just one weapon that cannot be upgraded at all. So we could do this. Add +1 projectile penetration, have it cost 500 credits with 3 max upgrades. So when you're controlling your sentry, the bullets can go through robots. It's an upgrade that's not super useful, and it kind of costs a lot, so you probably won't get it anyway. Good enough. So I used the Gunslinger and Maneuver's machine for the first time semi-seriously for this video, and it was actually a lot of fun. Granted, it was an easy mission. I doubt it would have gone that well on anything harder, but I think it could make for a fun support engineer playstyle. When the Gunslinger is equipped, you could probably reduce the price of some of his building upgrades. Let's say that any upgrade that affects your sentry will have its price reduced by 100. That means the plus 100% building health goes from 400 crits to 300, the faster sentry firing speed goes from 350 to 250, and we'll even do the disposable Mini-Sentry, which would go from 500 to 400. This would give a Gunslinger engineer some extra credits to play around with to either upgrade himself or his primary weapon. And then we could add a Mini-Sentry auto repair upgrade. That would cost 200 credits and can be upgraded 3 times. What this would do is make your Mini-Sentry automatically heal 10 health every second, maxing out at 30 health per second. And that way you could have your Mini-Sentry stay alive as long as possible without having to go anywhere near it. And I guess that's it. Was this video interesting at all? I've had it kind of written down for a long time. I mean, there are tons of possibilities in MVM. And tons of things that can be hypothetically given to different weapons to make them better or more interesting. You don't have to worry about how fun these mechanics are for robots to fight against, because, they don't talk. Do you guys have any ideas? Leave them in the comments, I'd be interested to know. But until next time, peace out, dogs.